Welcome back to the GCN Racing News Show. This week we're going to be looking back at some of the best moments of the 2018 season and also handing out some awards. You've been voting your droves to the best male and female rider, best team and best non-pro achievement. We'll begin though with the best moments of the year. Now, we did already put a video out with some of our favourite moments of 2018, but we've been looking through your comments underneath that video, and so we're now going to go through some of those that we missed out the first time around. So firstly, it's Michael Wood's stage win up the incredibly steep slopes of the Balcon de Bizkaia at the Vuelta a España. A thoroughly deserved and emotional victory for Woods, but little did we know just how emotional.
My director, Juanma, was on the radio in the last 500 meters. He just said, do this for your family. My wife and I, we lost, my wife had a stillbirth 2 months ago. We lost a little guy, his name was Hunter, and the whole time I was just going up the climb, I was thinking of him, and I wanted to win so bad for him, and I did it. I did it.
Sticking with the Vuelta, many of you had Simon Yates win there down as one of your moments of the year. Off the back of his spectacular capitulation at the Giro d'Italia, everyone was waiting for Yates to crack in the last week. Instead, with 3 days to go, he did what he does best and went on the offensive. That, the day that effectively sealed Yates' first Grand Tour win, coming second on the stage to Thibaut Pinot, but distancing all of his key GC rivals. Speaking of Pinot, he is the next rider on our list, not for his Vuelta wins, but for his first monument, Il Lombardia. He does love Italy, that man, doesn't he? Not long before that race, he'd actually been a domestique deluxe for the French squad at the World Championships in Innsbruck, but they weren't able to get the better of Alejandro Valverde, who at 37 converted his multitude of silver and bronze medals into gold. There he outsprinted Romain Bardet and Michael Woods to the line and took the coveted rainbow bands in the process. A very cool, calm and calculated win for the Spaniard, who has once again had an incredible season. Now, in our previous Best Moments video, we had Thibaut Pinot's first pro win in the form of Strada Bianca, but it appears that for many of you, the sheer effort put in by cyclocross star Wout van Aert was the highlight of the day. Oh man, I think we can all sympathise with a bout of cramp at the end of a long day, even though it might not have been at the end of a World Tour race for many of us. Okay, it's time to get on to a mini awards section of the show. As I mentioned, you've been voting for 4 categories, and I'm going to now announce the winners. First up, it's Best Female Pro. Now, I think it was pretty obvious that 2 riders would ride away with the votes in this category, just as they have done at most races this year. The question was, though, would it be Anna van der Breggen or Annemiek van Vleuten? Well, I can now reveal that in third place, it is the living legend that is Marianne Vos, winner this year of 8 races on the road and plenty more in cyclocross. In second, it is Anna van der Breggen. Now, Van der Breggen rode away with the World Championships this year, just as she did at the Tour of Flanders, Strade Bianche, Flèche-Wallonne and Liège-Bastogne-Liège. An incredible string of results, but still not enough for her to get the better of Annemiek van Vleuten, who is this year's GCN Female Rider of the Year. Van Vleuten this year defended her world title in the time trial, won the Giro Rosa for the first time in her career, and of course, won La Course, one of the most gripping finales of the year.
Ouais, parce que là, Van Vleuten est en train de revenir. Attention, Annemiek van Vleuten qui revient, c'est pas possible, et qui dépose Anna van der Breggen.
I still love watching that finish. On to Male Rider of the Year now. A tough one to call with no one rider dominating more than 1 Grand Tour or Classic. Are you ready? We had an incredibly tight battle for third place with less than 1% of the votes separating Peter Sagan, Mathieu van der Poel and Alejandro Valverde. But in third, it's Van der Poel. Possibly the most talented rider in cycling right now. Van der Poel this year won his national championships on the road, cyclocross and mountain biking, also dominantly winning 2 stages of the Arctic Race of Norway, coming second at the European Championships, and he also finished runner-up at the World Mountain Bike Championships. Plus, he won pretty much every major cyclocross race except the World Championships. With his team, Corendon Circus, having just acquired pro-continental status, we may well see him competing at the likes of the Tour of Flanders and Paris-Roubaix next year, which is a very exciting prospect indeed. In second place in this category with 15% of the votes, it's Simon Yates. It was almost a season of near misses for Yates, who had come close to overall victory in both Paris-Nice and at the Giro, but he made amends in fine style at the Vuelta. But in first, the winner of this year's Tour de France and now the winner of GCN's Male Rider of the Year 2018, with 21% of the votes, it's Geraint Thomas. A few believed he actually had been given co-leadership this year at Team Sky, but so it proved to be, and Thomas took full advantage, never looking in trouble, always in control. So, those were your votes, but who did the pros pick as their Male Rider of the Year? John Cannings asked them whilst they were in Japan for the Saitama Criterium.
Oh, probably Valverde. I think he started winning after his big injury straight away, like we are like just amateurs. Luckily he didn't won like his 75th Fresh Ballon. But then he was consistent all year long and be there in the Grand Tour, be there in the climb, and won the Worlds again. So but won the Worlds finally.
Yeah.
I think it's really
it's amazing.
Massive.
Yeah.
Geraint Thomas winning the Tour de France, I think, is a surprise. It's always a difficult word, but I mean, he showed his strength.
And the Alejandro Valverde, because last season he had a bad crash in Tour de France.
Really bad.
But he came back and already first race in Mallorca. He won the stage, and already and a good season. And finally he won the World Championships, and he was 38 years old, no?
Yeah.
I think
38,
so. Yeah, that's pretty amazing.
He's almost getting better with age.
Yeah, it's
like a fine wine.
Cut.
Next up, we've got our teams classification. In third place here, we have Mitchelton Scott, who've had enormous successes both on the women's and the men's teams. In second, it's Team Sky. But in first place, and no big surprises here, the team that have won 73 races this season have just added another trophy to their collection. Quick-Step Floors are GCN's Team of the Year. And finally, as mentioned, we added a category for the best achievement. Not strictly confined to racing, admittedly, but a nod to some incredible riding of all sorts this year. So, for example, Lawson Craddock battling on through the Tour de France with a fractured scapula, raising hundreds of thousands of dollars for the Houston Velodrome. Jenny Graham smashing the women's record for riding around the world. Denise Muller-Koronek smashing the world bicycle land speed record. Dr. Mitchell Anderson riding 824 kilometres in 24 hours. Or Vittorio Bussi taking the women's world hour record. However, our top three, as voted for by you, are as follows. In third place, it's Ed Pratt, who this year finished riding around the world on a unicycle.
So the charity that I'm raising money for, I originally aimed to raise £18,000. I've smashed that. It's £300,000 we're on at the moment.
Nice.
And the charity is called School in a Bag, and they're based locally to where I live. It's like 10 miles away from home. So.
In second, in what was a very close finish, it's the ultra-endurance legend Sarah Hammond, who once again won the Race to the Rock this year, amongst other achievements. But in first place, it's James Hayden, who made it back-to-back victories in arguably the toughest cycling event of the year, the Transcontinental. There he covered 3,400 kilometres in just under 9 days, completely unsupported. I feel tired just thinking about that. Well done to all our winners, and thanks to all of you for voting. That is just about it from me for this week. But next week I'll be back with a look at some of the quirkier events that we've covered on the GCN Racing News Show this year, some of which you may even decide to enter yourself next year. In the meantime, I wish you a very happy Christmas. Oh, by the way, if you missed out of the best moments video of the year, you can find that just down here.